know what, they may not even use that account if they do create a profile, in which case they're not gonna get the invitation anyway.
But it's going to their email.
They're
Right.
linking the profile to
Right.
the email address that the person uses when they create their profile. So if you send an email to an email request,
Right.
connection request to an email address, if there's nobody with that email address, it's not gonna go anywhere. And if it sits someplace waiting for somebody to create a profile with that, and they actually log in and create a profile but use a different address,
Right.
they'll never see that request.
Okay, that's good, but I got the feeling this is a usable email and they just don't wanna create it LinkedIn. Which I know, but I'm just, you know,
So they probably deleted off their email.
yeah, I hope so. I'm just conscious of not irritating people, you know,
Yeah.
because we are always soliciting and I just, and here's another thing, I had somebody in my network ask me to introduce them to like 7 of my people, which means he went through all mine, which I guess is okay, and he wants me to like introduce them and they sell financial services. And I just didn't feel comfortable, even though he's a friend, but I thought, I wouldn't want someone to give out my name for financial services. We all know people that do that already. So I said, you know what, I forget how I put it very nicely, but I was a little bit, you know, I don't know, I guess because I wouldn't have done that, you know what I mean? So I felt bad declining, and then I felt like, I can't believe you went through my list and flagged people, and you know, I don't know.
But
just
that's
the
what
whole
you
thing.
do, is you go through everyone's list to
That's-
flag.
Well,
people.
I think if you're looking for a
Don't
job,
pay for
that's
you.
great, but to sell them something, I
You
felt a
know,
little,
I have a solution
Yeah.
for you.
yeah, well.
You can block your connections.
Well, I didn't want to do that either, because I do have clients that have lost jobs, and I always say, go through my connections,
Oh.
and I will give you a personal introduction,
Oh.
because a job seems different than just,
Right.
you know, selling
I don't think
insurance or
it's bad for
something.
you to just send them an email, just being honest with them
Yeah.
and saying, you know, I
Not
don't feel
comfortable with
comfortable doing
Well, I
this.
did that, that's how
Yeah.
I did it nicely, but I just kind of felt, ooh,
Well,
Yeah.
if they are LinkedIn members,
yeah.
It's a,
then they can properly dispose of the invitations. So if they don't know who, let's say I send an invite, they don't know who I am, they can click on I don't know, and then they'll never receive another invite from me. So that's one way of disposing of it. Archive it, you table the acceptance, and then I get no more reminders, but it stays available to me in my inbox, and I can go back when I want. Example, I try to really link up with personal friends, business associates, and that's about it. So if I get a random invite from somebody, sorry, got something in my eye, from somebody that I don't know, or somebody I do know that I don't care if I know, I don't automatically. I bet you guys got an invite from somebody that you know but you don't want to know. I won't name names, but I don't know what to do with it. I mean, I don't have the heart to just.
Archive is
Right.
decline?
I
You don't
yeah.
wanna tell them to decline, you don't
Well,
wanna
I
serve.
read a piece on how you can do it elegantly. You know, you can say, listen, you know, just what I just said. I can say that in the response to the invite. Only I can leave out the part about good friends. So I try to keep
You don't
this
want to hurt anybody's feelings.
very, very professional. You know, I have a specific reason for the network that I've established in LinkedIn, and that's why I'm going to respectfully decline. Befriending is when they used to be a friend, but they're not anymore.
Well, I didn't want to hear about every mundane thing of this person's life. So I said, I just want to defriend her, and she goes, no, you can't. And then she just showed me
Oh, so
early
you're
on
already a
how I
friend.
could just, as I could just hide,
Oh.
so I don't have to listen to every little, you know.
I actually had somebody unlink to my network, and I didn't even realize it. I mean, we don't stay in touch all the time,
Yeah.
but one day I realized I haven't seen any updates, and normally I saw updates like once a month or once every 3 weeks, and I hadn't seen it in a long time. And I looked in my my connections, and he wasn't there anymore.
Oh.
And then I looked at some of my friends' connections that were also connected, and he was there.
So
And
he
there were
unlinked-
updates.
He unlinked himself from you?
Apparently, yeah.
Maybe you were competing industries sometimes.
No, I think it was another
So you
problem.
do that.
It's like a personal problem, yeah.
Can I ask another question on that same noticed sometimes some of the people who are really good at this, they have this thing where like it automatically sends to your email like an update like such and such has just got a promotion as such and
Yeah,
such.
congratulate him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How come do I sign up for that? I mean I really don't.
No,
know.
it's
in your
promoted.
It's in your settings.
It's like
It is.
You can ask to get those kinds of emails.
Okay.
You too.
Okay.
That's kinda cool.
So archiving. You can put this invite into your inbox as an archive, and you won't get any more reminders. Accept. That's the easiest thing. Accept, and they become in your network, and everything's good. You can reply, which is just a message that doesn't accept and doesn't reject. So, for example, you can reply back to somebody you don't want to connect with and tell them why, and then if you want, you can just archive their invite, or you could delete it. And then there's the flag of spam, which I've never used. That's what it does. So people ought to dispose of these invites so they don't get bothered. You don't need to get an invite 100 times. You either want it, you don't want it, make up your mind. Recommendations we talked about before. You can recommend only first-degree connections. So you can't recommend somebody's second degree. They have to be somebody that's accepted your invite or you've accepted their invite. And LinkedIn likes to encourage this reciprocity. So they'll say something like, do you want to recommend so-and-so? He recommended you, his recommendation. Do you want to reciprocate? I don't remember what the actual verbiage is, but it tries to encourage you to reciprocate.
But it does it automatically.
When you get a recommendation, unless it's a setting, but I don't think it is, it'll ask you if you want to reciprocate. You can introduce anybody to one of your first degree connections, and Scott was saying you get 5 at a time, and I guess it's a drum, so it rolls. Look for first degree connections with whom the candidate has worked. So if you're doing reference searching, these recommendations, I mean, this goes without saying, it's pretty obvious. I don't know how much the recommendations are really worth, because everybody knows it's sort of rigged, but then again, maybe it,
No, they're not.
Is that true?
well,
No, they're not.
No, it'd be nice to put their title, because on mine, since I haven't worked with them, like at their, let's say HP.
oh, I remember that.
It would be nice to know, oh wow, this guy's a partner in a law firm, you know what I mean? It would be nice to have their title, but it doesn't
Well-
come up
To lend
unless I work at that
credibility.
law firm with him. So I thought that would have been a nice
Okay.
feature to have, then you go, oh wow, that's,
But
That's right.
There's a
It's
link to the
credible.
person's profile though, they can follow.
Could they, okay, I just don't know
Sure.
if I don't know if I would take the
Yeah.
time to look at who his recommendation is, but,
What I did, I asked for recommendations from all the people that I had on my my list that I handed out to the employers. So if they were asking for references,
oh.
I asked for recommendations from my references saying, you can call these people, but look, here's what they're gonna say.
Oh, okay,
So it's only a 2-liner.
so what did you do?
No,
Just
these
print-
are nice
Oh,
paragraphs,
how much can you write?
a lot.
A lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've only seen like maybe.
I don't know what the
2 or 3
limit
lines.
is, but I know there's probably 600 characters in one of them.
Well,
at
if you
least.
have a business, like you do contract work or whatever, you'd want all your contractor, people that you've contracted to write things that then people look you up.
Yeah.
And they'll
Sure.
say, oh, they did like your work,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
So I can see it being very powerful.
So
could
if you
link
put
it.
in your positions in your profile that you worked at XYZ company as a consultant, and this person works at XYZ company,
They'll see if you
then
like
they'll see it on the recommendation.
See.
Yeah, I just haven't done that because I feel weird about it.
We made a
Gotta get
video
over it.
for one of our market segments. How hard is it to put that video into I know there's a spot for it, and I thought it's one of my to-do lists.
In LinkedIn,
Yeah.
the last thing I did was I learned how to put up these PowerPoints. I haven't put a video up before, but maybe after we're done with this, maybe we could check it out
Oh,
and
yeah.
see.
Or, I mean, I know I can just call them too, but I was thinking, oh, that would be neat, because we did it, and I thought that's good. It's on our website and all that, but I thought that'd
Has
be
anybody
fun
put a
too.
video up?